The greatest plumbing competition right here on video. Y'all ready for first place plumbers?
Yeah!
Steve McCall. I got to go to local 525 in Las Vegas. They invited me to come out and see what they were doing. They were doing their apprentice competition. Their apprentice competition was for plumbing, HVAC, pipe fitting, and welding. They bring in their top apprentices and let them compete.
So what we did is we gave them this right here, and then we didn't give them the pipe sizing. So we gave them the rules, and what they had to do is go off the givens here to size their water.
I like that with the minimum pipe size.
Yeah.
That way they can't just oversize everything.
Yeah, they can't just do 4x2.
Yeah, I like
and it gave a lot of guys fits. So and then and then they have the rules for the ISO they did last night.
Right.
So they draw their ISO, and the judges are going to judge their ISO in about 11 o'clock, and then by then most of them are starting to finish up. And then we come in and judge.
I love the ISOs. That was one of the first things that I taught.
I know.
So it's like, oh my gosh, and that one's fantastic.
That one's a fantastic one. All right, and then this is one of our guys. He's doing the same project though, where they did the ISO the night before. But the thing that was so hard about it is we have them design their water. So we didn't, like some contests, they give them the drawings, where this one, they give us the part list the night before.
I love it.
So we're here till like midnight pulling fittings, then back at like 5 a.m. Well, and the thing I like is then the judges have a little bit more freedom. Like, well, this guy used less fittings, less this, and it challenges them a little bit more. So it's not such a cookie cutter like who can assemble this drawing the fastest when the pipe size is already there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we want plumbers that when they walk into an area, they know one to use minimum pipe size because that saves labor. So again, we have the tarps up so that because it's their design.
Yep.
We didn't want people being like, oh, that's what this guy's doing, or, oh wait, why is he doing PVC there? Should I be doing that? But once they do the water as well, it'll get interesting because everyone had a different water idea.
Oh, I'm sure.
Drainage is drainage.
Now this is neat because you had to know code, you had to know your formula so you could look and figure things out and know what size to run things. Now here's what I really loved about the competition for plumbers. The beginning apprentices, the first, second, maybe third years, they had in a different area and they gave them the same prints, but they told them what size to use.
So yeah, we give the contestants a plan view, right? And they're responsible for sizing building using minimum pipe sizes per our UPC code here in Nevada. And they're responsible for all their center to center measurements off of partitions between fixtures. The one thing we give them is an overall dimension, just to kind of give them a little bit of an advantage. And then after that, we have them draw an isometric drawing. So this is one I actually drew up for these fine people here. These are our first and second year apprentices, so they're just getting their feet under them, right? So we went ahead, they drew their own, but we went ahead and drew this one up for them just to give them that little bit of assistance. But, yeah, so that's about it, man. They've been getting going. They're starting on their carriers first.
All right. So what's your name?
My name's Dustin McDonald.
And what do you teach here?
So I'm with the plumbing instructors here. Plumbing code, fuel gas, water supply, gas sizing, and fixtures.
Cool.
Plumbing fixtures. Appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
This was a great competition, and I love seeing what the plumbers were doing. They literally took a bathroom area and installed everything in the walls. To get to see the top apprentices do this, which is probably your fourth and fifth years, and then get to see your first, second, and thirds get back there and do the same thing, but they had a lot of the information given to them. I thought that was amazing. Now, when we got there that day, they had already sized everything, looked at the drawings, done their takeoffs. They had already done a lot of the stuff the night before. So that was really cool. So then the next morning when they come in, boom, they have breakfast, and then they sit down and they start working. So it was so much fun to get to be there and get to be part of this. But then the really cool part was going and watching like the HVAC, what they're doing, troubleshooting, the things that they're building.
This is our HVAC coordinator, and she's over the contest this year.
Tell me about your school.
So the school was built during COVID of 2020. The first class we had in here was probably August of 21. And we've had a lot of great transition of this lab. So this building, it's got 6 classrooms, it's got amazing high bay of a lab space. So we probably have four different sectors up here. We got the residential HVAC, we got the brazing lab, we got the chillers and commercial sector, and we got the hydronic section and the commercial refrigeration section. So, but our apprentices are amazing because they have to go through soup to nuts, fundamentals, foundation, all the way through residential and commercial and then some. So incorporating throughout their apprenticeship, it's a 5-year apprenticeship, incorporating different levels of professionalism and making sure that they're all getting exposed to different pieces of equipment so that when they see it out in the industry, they won't be so surprised and sticker shocked.
Yep.
So the goal is educating through exposure and really helping to achieve all those goals.
All right.
Yeah.
And this is one thing that was really neat about Local 525. They have large service companies that are part of their membership. Now, I tried starting a service company here in Dallas, Texas as a union company, and well, Local 100 didn't support me the way Local 525 supports their people. So it's really neat to see a union get behind the companies there. And the United Association is a good union. I just wish they'd get behind more residential service companies. Now, the other two parts that I thought were great is the welding.
This is just a basic thing that we get on the job site when we're doing code work. So it tells you how the joint's set up, what position we're going to be in, our conditions for how every single weld goes, and then what they're allowed to get away with. So that's their parameters all the way through. So what they were given was just a set of coupons,
Right.
rod, and this. So it's up to them to act like a journeyman. I'm not going to hold their hand. I'm not going to carry them through this. If they don't know how the process is or don't know how to read this, that's on them. And the judges will get the same exact sheet and follow through the same exact procedures. So same thing. 4-inch Sched 80 carbon, same thing, tells you how we're welding it. This one happens to be TIG root 7018 out. The 6-inch carbon test is our normal journeyman test, but let them know on the bottom, it's going to be destructive testing.
Okay.
So they have to set that joint up. They can't get away with anything.
Right. You're going to bend it. You're going to try to break it.
Exactly.
I love that.
So they know exactly what's going on. And my favorite, this is the one that pisses off all my apprentices, is the UA70. It's a structural test. It's one pass. You get one shot at it.
Oh, wow.
That's it. Actually, my class is going through this right now. So that's all it is, just a structural test with 3/16 billet on it. And you make a mistake, it shows up immediately. So this will separate the men from the boys on the stick aspect of it.
So if these were certification tests, what different certs would these be?
That one would, actually I didn't even get inside the certification.
Yeah.
I pulled them from the certifications, but gave them different wall sizes.
Oh, cool.
Just to make it easier. This would be like a 41, but this is a bigger wall size.
Okay.
And same thing with the Sched 80. That one would be like a, was it 63, I want to say? But same thing, but just different wall size, just for time constraints.
No, I get it.
I wanted to make sure that they had enough time to get it all done, but enough to keep it where they had to stay hooked up. The nice thing about the
Yeah, you don't want to give them a weld that's going to take them all day just to burn right.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
No, I like that.
But like this, they had to think about that stainless steel because it requires a purge, the backing gas on
You
it.
bet.
So they got to think about it. Okay, I got to get this thing set up, put a root in it, and then get it away from it and let it cool off, because we're looking for color on it too. So they're not allowed to brush it. I want to see if they burn it up or not.
For you.
So if they got chromium migration in any way, shape, or form, we'll know about it. So it just keeps everybody on the same level playing field.
So you got 4 major welds here,
Yep.
and they get how long to do all this?
They got 6 hours to get all of it.
6 hours, beginning to end.
Yeah. Everybody was tacked up before we left last night, so I made sure everybody was exactly in the same spot.
Okay, so yesterday they came in to tack, cut, prep.
I got a written test for them. They did the written test, which happens to be our Journeyman W test, welder test. They all did that. Then I made them come in here, get everything prepped, get everything tacked, so everybody's in the same spot. There's no one can complain that, oh, so-and-so had more time than me. Didn't happen.
Good deal.
They had all the equipment. They have exactly the same thing as everybody else. So it's even across the board.
So basically today is 4 4-inch welds.
Yep, pretty much.
Very nice. I like that.
And then they'll end up, when they get to a certain pull point, I'll pull them out. We'll get all the coupons cut up to the 6-inch. And I'll have them cut them up. They are going to prep them.
I love it.
And the first thing I'm going to do is check for bow ties, see if they did anything dumb, trying to get away with things.
Cool.
So that's basically what we got going on.
So to get to see the welders, of course, they're welding in their booths, so you can't really watch all that. But to get to see the final judges and what they're going through, the way they test everything, it was really, really neat.
So what are you looking for in each one of these welds?
So criteria, you're looking at root, cover pass, color, and flaws, right? So root, this guy did okay. I'd like to see a little bit more in there, but depending on who you're talking to and who you're working for, they're going to want a little bit something different. In my opinion, that's a little flat, but it's all tied in, and the color's decent. It looks like maybe he didn't quite have enough purge, but the color's decent. It's all there. It's all tied in. I don't see internal undercut, and there's no excessive reinforcement, but I would like to personally see a little bit more reinforcement. But strictly from an objective standpoint, I'm going to give him, that's a 4. Even if I don't like it, it still meets requirements. So let's give him a 4 on that root. Cover looks pretty good. He's got a pretty good hand on him. Stepping a little bit too much, but there's nothing wrong with that when you're starting out.
From the other side.
He'll get better. But I don't see any excessive kind of undercut or flaws as far as that goes. And he could improve that color by cranking that gas up a little bit. Maybe going with a different cup. So that's a solid 4 on that cover pass. And then the color's okay. It's a little, but you're talking Schedule 10. There's not a lot of material there.
Right.
And stainless doesn't, dissipate heat too well. So. Give him a 3 on the color. Flaws, say the only thing and maybe be a little spot on that root. I'd give him 4 on flaws. He did pretty good on that. All right. I think that's it for number 1.
Now, one of my favorite parts that really, well, since Squirt's a pipe fitter, I'm kind of drawn to pipe fitters, but to get to see the pipe fitters work, they literally built a UA assembly and they did it all right there. Now, it wasn't all tacked up in welding though. There was also some Victolic that they had to cut and put in. And that was the piece that could really mess you up if you didn't have everything done right. Now, there was even a first-year apprentice there working in this, and he did phenomenal. So to get to see what these kids were doing, man, this was just fantastic. And then at the end of the day, well, they asked me if I would be a part of the award ceremony. Would I come up and announce the winners and present them with the awards? So it was so neat. It was such a wonderful thing. And a great thing to be a part of. I love the apprentice competitions and everything they do. So if you are in Las Vegas and you're thinking about becoming a plumber, a pipe fitter, a welder, or an HVAC technician, go check out Local 525. This place is amazing, and you can tell they really do take care of their apprentices. So guys, thank you so much for this, and thanks to Local 525 for allowing me to come out and do the things that I do and be a part of their community. And if you love this video, I definitely think you're going to love this one.